Hi, Casey. Darkus here. All right, so here's the last submission, right? I was trying to actually open your Maya because there is some stuff that I would really like to check, and I just couldn't because well I tried. I'm gonna try again. So here you are. Here's your sync sketch. Here's your Google Drive. So and it says you need access. It's locked. Request access. It shouldn't come like this. It should be ready for me to just download. So I don't know why I would have to do any additional steps. So I'm not gonna go in Maya. I'm just gonna take a look at a play blast that you provided. So like I said, this is last submission, week 4. So basically, this is a work that reflects the result that reflects the work of last month, right? So let's take a look. Okay, once again. All right, so where to start? Let's start at the beginning. So we have a walk here that looks, I would say, fine, decent walk. Unfortunately, like I said, I couldn't access your Maya, so I cannot really see if you are doing properly weight shift and if your hips are properly rotating and all that kind of stuff. But the feeling of walk is quite fine. The character is going up and down and up and down. So, and there is some movement in the hips. So I assume that looks okay. Because this is a time, when actually you once when you establish your keys and breakdowns, this is a time where you spend most of your working time and focus on putting focus on graph editor, right? In graph editor now we can actually have control over our character 100%. So basically we are trying to smooth out all curves that are maybe not so smooth, and maybe some jiggery parts that we can smooth out our curves. And as soon as you understand graph editor, it becomes your best friend as an animator all the way till retirement. So if you don't have that command of graph editor, um, it's still okay because you are portfolio 4, so it is completely understandable that you are still learning that stuff. But in order to learn, you have to start dealing with it, right? So dive in and try to solve the problems by simply maneuvering in graph editor, right? Just have a open your work screen and your graph editor, and you can do it half screen, or 1/3, where actually is the best way to do it. Where on, like, for example, if this is your screen, right, laptop screen, um, this would be probably the best uh, uh, way to deal with it is if you have here graph editor, right? So all those lines are here, and you can see the curve. And then smaller part, or maybe it all depends. It's a personal thing. But if you can upper part you can split in maybe two half half, or maybe smaller part is actual camera, what is going to be on the screen, and this bigger part actually is your working camera. That means perspective, right? So here is a perspective, because you are working on the rig. You're working actually on animation. Here is a working window. Here is a window that actually will be seen by viewers. So whatever you move in a perspective, you can see right away how that looks actually in front of the camera that you selected, right? Because this window has to be locked. And then you have graph editor. So if you choose one a key, and you can increase or decrease its value, and then you can look how that reflects on your character, what is actually happening with the rig as you are pulling up and down certain keys. you know that is something that from now on you should be practicing more and more and more, to the point where this becomes like a second nature, right? You don't really think about it. Some, probably most of the people in industry can even animate some parts and moving rig just by pulling the controls in graph editor. So there you go, about a little bit about graph editor. Okay, so now he is walking. He something to pay attention. Like for example, as I'm looking, his foot is stuck in this position for like a long time. As it's traveling, it's in always in this position. So those positions in the foot and the feet, as it, you know, they always have to change as we are walking. The toes are going up and down, and everything is moving all the time. So nothing should get stuck and be kind of just carried over to a new position from last position. Not, the controls not being touched, because automatically the rig, the character is becoming more rigid and just stiff. So I can see that you gave up on that stagger, right? Where he or she was kind of shaking. Um, well, it's really up to you. You could add, I think I was explaining how to do it last time, where you need two keys, right? One key, one position is a little bit lower. The other position is higher. And then these are your keys, right? Let's say 1 and 14 or 15. And then these in-betweens that you get by Maya, right? You grab, each, and you pull, like, so in order, you have to touch pretty much everyone, and as soon as basically you are maneuvering them, they become breakdowns. So to get that stagger, right, instead of, because if you don't do nothing, it's just gonna go smoothly from one key to another, right? But we don't want that smooth transition. We want, you know, to use this in between, so you go like the head goes back and then maybe for 2 frames and then goes one forward and then back for 2 frames and then one forward, 2 frames, one forward, 2 frames, one forward, and then you get this that kind of stagger in the motion, right? Completely up to you if you wanna install it. The problem that I see is that these hands got frozen here, what is not cool, especially not in the 4th week of submission, final submission. Nothing happened. They're frozen. Then he goes with those arms are like broken. Look, they are like in a cast. There is no flexibility here. Wouldn't be nice if he actually went, as he's going forward, maybe that his arms are going up. And then he goes for anticipation for a run. I would probably squish that guy even more down. Arms even higher. And then, so squish it more. And then we go for run. Now, a run, in order for the body to be pushed forward, that leg, back leg, has to stretch. And you don't have that stretch. That's a problem. Because this is not working. We would never be able to run if we would not stretch this leg. This leg, after the squash, after anticipation, gets thrown forward. Leg is straight, heel is up, toes are down in the contact with the ground. The other leg, of course, is start to move forward, and that's pretty much how that push position is supposed to look. Definitely that leg has to be straight and in the contact with the ground, with the heel high up. And then this is fine, you know, this position is fine. Then it comes to contact. Contact is kind of fine. This front leg could be a little bit straighter. The back leg could be a bit more back, but it's okay if you don't, you know. But as he's coming down, his body comes down, the leg starts to bend. Why is his foot still being pointing up? It looks unnatural. It's uncomfy. So if this one is down, it doesn't feel like it's down because the hip here and the hip and down is pretty much on the same level. You see, that's the problem here. This one was supposed to be higher so that we have that feeling of hips coming down. There is always supposed to be up and down in that movement of the hips. Now again, the same problem as over there where the leg that is actually propelling, pushing that body up is not straight. So that it's not gonna work as long as that is not properly fixed. Now we get to contact. So that's a contact. What comes after contact? When you were walking your character here, contact, even here, down position is supposed to be actually more pronounced. But you had at beginning contact down. You see that down here? So always after contact down, passing up, contact down. You see that? Down, down, down. So why? You already forgot here the same principle. Contact, nothing. You have a little bit later that thing, but that's not really down because of the run. This is more kind of like a hiding behind a post, squashing to hide. But here we have a real physical need for down, because if we are jumping from somewhere, anywhere, the bigger distance, the squash is going to be bigger. So of the run, definitely squash should be bigger than in the walk, because it's more intensity. The body is coming down with a more force, right? Inertia. So here, of the contact, there was a need for anticipation, where the foot would be, of course, flat, body would be bended, and then from this squash, she can go up to that. You can slow it down if it's needed more, and then she can go for hide, down to hiding position. She can there maybe stay a bit longer, and then she goes up, lifts the foot, all right, and then goes for a new contact, boom, and then I don't feel down position. I mean, she is going down somehow, leaning towards us with the head and maybe torso, but the hips down position. Where is down? I was talking about it last time in a critique of last week, so I am wondering why you wouldn't address those notes if I gave you those directions. So if you had it down, then in order to lift this leg, you would have to move a bit of the hips this way, and then you make new contact. So from the down that is missing, lifts leg up as a passing position, then up pose is missing, but okay, all right, this is kind of sneak, so I can go even over it. That up position is missing. All right, then we make a contact. Now what comes after contact? Wow, guess what? Down, and you are missing it again here. See, you cannot have a contact without going after in a down position. Now here we have another contact with the right foot coming towards us. Contact. The foot gets down on the ground, contact. What happens after contact? Guess what? Another down. You don't have it. The guy just goes back, although his hand gets stuck in the air. It would be nice maybe if he is holding this post. That would maybe kind of solution for it. But you cannot have a hand not being moved at all for a few frames while it's in the air. Now we have a new contact here. What we do after contact? We're going down. This one is, well, it has some kind of down. So that is better than going up for the first step. Okay, leg gets straight, kind of pushing the character. All right, now this leg should not be straight anymore. I was talking about it last time. Why I have to repeat myself? I'm just gonna go fast through it because you can also go back to last week critique and listen over, because if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna just repeat myself, so there is no point of it. It's easier for you to just open the last week critique and try to follow my critiques, because I was telling you that this foot is supposed to go up with a nice arc, and you don't have that. Your character is going straight for this step, and that is not correct, because we always go in arcs, right? And also, how would he or she put that foot up, not going through the geometry of the stair? I don't know. Definitely has to go in arc. All right. Everything looks better when it goes in arcs. It looks more organic and natural. So the first straight leg is fine. Second is not fine. The second one should already go up. This one should be already like that, something like that. Maybe even higher. This one could be higher, just to create that illusion of of arc. Now toes should be probably up. We would probably have a contact with a heel when we are going upstairs. And then getting flattened out. So again, here we push. That straight leg is good. This one already should be bended. Here you have a movement only in legs and arms. The hips are not moving. Okay, so here we have a weight shift, so that's good. The leg is being off the ground, off the stairs, so the weight is going over the supporting leg. That's good. This you have to take a look at your graph editor, because the curve has to be nice and continuous. The curve cannot be like nice and then suddenly this, and then do this, or this, and then continue it like that. Because when you have something flat like this, means there is no movement, right? As long as the curve is going up and down, there is a movement. as soon as it gets flat, no movement. And as the character is walking, there should be movement in every single joint of the character, right? So um, see, she moves her hips from right side to left side, and then she just goes up. Uh, she has to move left side, right side, left side, right side continuously. She cannot have a movement like this, moving to this side and then going up, and then moving this side and then all going up. You know, these are representing flat. That means that the weight shift is not happening. You moved hips to the left side, and then you left there for a while, and then you're moving hips to the right side, and then you left, hips on the right side. Um, if that curve is not nice and smooth like that, because when the curve is constantly moving like this, that means that there is constant movement in the hips, what is good. Like for example, here is moving left and right, so that I think that here is that curve is good at this point. You see, it's going from here to the left step and then to the right new step. Here the foot is off the ground on 244, but the weight shift didn't happen, so you have to move whole character a little bit over the left side, and then be careful, like this is probably moved too much to the left side because it looks like it's out of balance. If character would get to this point, probably would just topple down, right? So be careful with that. And then getting up. At this point, again, she should have probably a little bit more over this supporting leg. And wow, yeah, look at this. There is no weight shift, and the foot is getting off the ground. So, um, you know, that is just not feasible on the planet Earth, because we have a gravity force pushing us down, and in order to lift one of the legs, we have to shift the weight over the supporting leg to free up the other leg from the weight of our body in order to lift it and place it on new space. All right. You see, the hips are not moving, only upper body and the leg, but hip and supporting leg are frozen. Okay, now entry is better, although the hand is constant. The position of the hand in the wrist is constant here, so that makes it a little bit stiff, but still it's better than before, because now the hand and arm are coming in, then the head, and then once when he makes a contact with the hand on the windowsill, then the head goes up. That's much better than what we had so far. And then now he's going with the hips forward, and that is kind of protruding into the window. That looks good. Looks good. And then that's bad. I don't know what that's supposed to be. What happened here? You cannot have one key and another and expect a miracle happen, because if he fell asleep, did he get unconscious? What exactly happened to the character? And depends what happened. It should be animated, not let Maya to do it. Like, okay, Maya, I'm going to watch a movie now, and you finish it up, all right? When I'm back, I hope everything's gonna be done. Okay, Maya? Yeah, well, it doesn't work that way, right? So we cannot have just one key here and another there. Depends what you want to animate. I cannot even say what because I don't know if he's falling asleep, if somebody shot him with a sniper, or what happened to the guy or girl. I don't know. It just collapsed. So this is something for you to figure out how you're gonna end up. All right, so here we are. That was the last submission, my last review, and now I would really recommend, especially because we are going into the summer break, right? The 4th of July break, that you use that week to kind of work a bit on addressing these notes, because that's gonna make your scene looking better. All right, all right. Thank you. Bye bye.